because I consider YouTube like a producer,
And that shit got some cold ass beats.
not some, most,
Man.
like it's. I've seen I've seen pages with 10 subscribers with the hardest shits ever.
Shit.
The hardest shits ever, bro. And it's
we got a lot of things to talk about, some really fun ideas and topics. So first we got ambition and we got goal setting. So we're going to talk a lot about delusion because for both of those things you're going to get a little bit of that. And we'll talk about how your goals could be keeping you bored, which is like, I've said that to a few people and it pisses them off, but I mean, until you actually listen, it will come down.
You said how your goals keep you poor?
Some goals that people have keep them poor.
Ooh, that's great.
And I mean, because everything I say, everything I live by or even, put anywhere, it's something I've been through. I came to that realization in my own life, in my own path. And there were times where I had goals that were keeping me poor.
Yeah.
So if I had to, I will get into it, but if I got the bag that I, just recently ran into, if I got that a couple years ago, because of the way my goals were set up, I would
crash out.
Yeah. And I did that several times. So we'll get into that before we're going to talk some other updates. Really, I want to just jump into it. So we'll probably talk more tomorrow because you could film on it, right?
Yeah, what time?
12.
Yeah.
Great. I got that commitment on video. So. But yeah.
I'm going to break it.
So we'll talk about some more updates tomorrow, but the biggest one is, a live update. We're actually filming from this update. We've officially launched our community. We've been talking about this for so long, and there's so many moving parts in it. We got so many different things. We're in talks of growing it even further. Right now it has an ADHD community. So this is something for my project, U4 Solutions. This is an investor things that really, hopefully we can get him on here really soon. We'll make him some good money first and then get him on here so we can talk about it. But
so we'll be in a good mood.
Yeah,
so I won't walk in.
Right now,
what's this dog and pony show?
He gonna start grilling y'all.
Yeah, we'll wait till he's a happy. He's been good. We're in the beginning phase, and he knows that. We're also doing some other projects for him and other investments for him that are going a little bit better. So, but we want this one to take off first. But that's one that I built for him and kind of with him. He has ADHD. He's dealt with depression as well. I dealt with you name it. I probably dealt with it. So we're gonna be this like a community built for ADHDers, people with autism. People think that if you have autism, you're just fucked up out the game. But there's high functioning autism and there's low functioning autism. I'm actually getting tested for the high functioning one really soon. I had a therapist who suggested it, but then she just ghosted me. It was weird. But I still want to go get the test done because I think I need it. But Asperger's, depression, any mental health type of things, like a place to vent about it, a place to put some opinions about it, and we have coaching specifically tailored towards entrepreneurs who have those things. Because if you're an entrepreneur and you try to just go get a coach and you have ADHD and they don't know that or they don't know how to deal with that, they're not going to be able to help you.
It could definitely be viewed, especially autism, it could be viewed as disrespect or as laziness.
It's always viewed as laziness. So I've been doing a lot. I mean, I've been dealing with the things that come with it for years, but I've been doing more research and learning more about it, and it's really crazy how it, the people who fall on the spectrum, a lot of people don't know, especially in the city, which is why I really want to get people talking. A lot of people are going to say, I don't have that, but I want to get that conversation started because a lot of people, once you figure out you have that, it's not about making excuses for it, it's about getting tailored help so you can. It's not just saying, I have ADHD, so I'm just gonna
there's a way of
fuck your house, and then we want to get people help with it. So that's gonna be one thing coming. Another community we have, Real Love. So me and my wife, we're gonna have relationship coaching coming really soon. But for now, it'll just be a community for people, couple, anyone who loves love to get together and just promote love.
Congratulations on getting married.
Yeah, congrats.
That was scary. By the time this drops, we'll be cause right now it's a secret, but by the time this drops,
it won't be.
A secret. Yeah. But if we were just we did something small, it's really just a secret from
Did you guys go to Arby's or KFC for your?
We went actually to this place called J. Well, you talking about actually get married? We got married at church.
Oh, okay.
We almost got married. Might as well.
I'm just joking.
We ended up going to this place out our church is here at the church. We went there. It was dope. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was last minute, but we just made it work. We need to do this, and then we could do the big fancy. But we were only not doing it because we want to do it big, and it's like let's not sin to do it big. Let's just do it, get it done, and then do it.
Do it and then do it when the money's there.
Exactly.
The thing.
The theatrics.
Because you kind of could take the stress out of it like that, to be honest.
True.
Now it's just a party, bro. You feel me?
Exactly.
It's like playing. You just playing an event for real.
I'm worried about damn like saying no. It's like, bro, it's bad. Like, you can't really do nothing, bro. We already did it.
Whoops.
But no, like I got their blessing to propose. I mean, that's, you know, that's something like
You got their blessing to propose, but not for her
like,
to say yes.
Yeah.
You got the blessing to ask.
Right. So yeah, I let him say yeah, but instead of me, right. So the last one I'll talk about, we'll have a bunch of different communities. We're in the process of. I'm talking with a few different people who are looking into getting into sports broadcasting, and we want to let them start here, and like we'll let them host their whole shit from our community. You can go live here, you can schedule posts, you can do all of this. Circle is so good. We're about to really get into
Yeah, I can't wait to get into that.
Man, but I'll be letting someone who is specialized, someone on the rise who wants to get into sports broadcasting, host a sports community where they'll be able to moderate, and there's a package we'll put together for you and stuff. But I'm gonna talk with a few people. If I don't have one by the time this drops, definitely hit me up about that. But lastly, we got Pre-Media's community, so we're actually announcing in the next couple of days a free shoot. So I think I might have told you about this when I first got into photography in like 2016, 2015. The way I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur, to be honest. I was just trying to make bread and impress the hoes, and that was kind of the plan.
Yeah.
But it turned into this. I'm like, I need to figure out how to get people to buy, because it's like they don't know my work. I'm like, it was before I knew what marketing was. I'm like, how can I? Because I'm really good. I'm like, y'all don't know that. Y'all are going with these other dudes who are just popular, but they suck. So I'm like, how do I? So I put together a free shoot, and I got like, I said free, and it's gonna be tips. I paid like $150. Paid my whole paycheck at the time. I was working at the grocery store, like $7,000. Whole paycheck, just renting out the studio for like 4 hours. Maybe $500 that day.
Wow.
Like 10 shoots
Off
on
tips.
the spot.
Off
Tips. Because it was, renting is a bunch. It was bougie. My target audience was pretty bougie there, so people like to show that they got bread, but there was a lot of people showing love too. But yeah, that was dope. But I'm basically doing that again because I took a break from photography. My camera got stolen. I just started getting into sales and other shit. But now I hired 2 photographers. Got a videographer. We're looking to hire more just because I like what's going to happen is I feel like everyone we hire is going to be naturally get busy because we're going to help them, and it's like we're going to keep them hired. But we need to hire more because one of our videographers, he's getting pretty busy. So this will be a free shoot for any creatives, entrepreneurs, anyone in the city who wants some professional headshots. Either here's one of our studios in Royal Oak, or then we're going to be the other studio will be in Detroit, which I'll be hopefully finishing this week. I need to get over there and finish, just get the lights and shit in there. But that's the last part of the community, guys. It's going to be for Pre-Media. We're going to be dropping the free shoot details probably this week. We'll be dropping the details in Circle in our community, so if you're not in the community, you won't hear about it. So make sure you guys go to the link in our bio, join the community. It'll be, if you're a part of the community, you also get 10 to 15% off shoots and things like that. Some other cool things that come with that. But that's all. Anything for you. Since we last spoke, we had really good talking. So what's been going on with you?
Nothing. My girlfriend got back from a work trip, so I was a full-time dad for 3 weeks, and I got a 2-year-old, 5-year-old. And,
that might be considered overtime.
And it was Halloween.
It is.
And you had Halloween.
Halloween was the easy part though, because
Wow.
I had support. Like shout out to her mom and my mom for helping me through my struggle of being a dad. Yeah, so like man, listen, it's even. Shout out to all the women, bro, because they're staying home with their kids, bro, because this shit is not for the weak, bro.
Oh, no.
This shit is literally, bro, the hardest shit to do, hands down. Hardest shit.
Are you team iPad?
What the fuck does that have?
I know exactly what you mean. I think I know what you mean.
Like you said, it's difficult to be with the kids all day, so that's why parents are just throwing iPads. They don't even know their kid there at the time.
So
flying in the corner.
I mean, I don't know how people raise kids without technology. Really?
No, you can't do it without.
Bro, that's why back in the day everyone was just hitting their kids and sending them to the car.
That's why they was just outside.
Yeah.
Your parents say, yo, take your ass outside.
So they drained the shit out of me. So I'm still tired from that. So I'm just getting back. She got back 2 days ago. So we were kicking it. I took a day off yesterday, and then today I was making music, came here, and then we're gonna record. And then next week I'm gonna start recording again and getting back to all the texts and DMs that I missed. But there's a point with me, right, where it's like I'm not forcing trying to do shit if I just simply am unable to do shit. Like I'm just not, right? So it's like that shit was, my phone was basically off. Like I know you tried to text me all the time, so I was like, sorry, 3 days later. So, but beyond that, I'm getting back to it and then get back in the mode. So.
And before we kind of jump into ambition, I know you guys work on a lot of different things and probably got some things you're keeping on the down low. But what are some things you can share that you're been in the process of working on over the last couple of weeks?
First of all, though, tell us what Menace Media is, just for people who don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming everyone just because you guys are famous to me, but I'm assuming like just knows who they are. I'm sorry.
So Menace Media is an independent media company in Detroit, based in Detroit. Mm-hmm. We do full media production as well as marketing services. We act as an agency as well. We work with artists, creatives, and also companies on helping them build out sustainable strategies in the digital space in terms of growing social media, making income off social media or different aspects, facets of the digital world. And then media production, just straight services. If you guys are looking to book shoots, full production, equipment, or anything in that line of work, and Menace Media is the guys to take care of it.
Oh, make the call. Yep. That's the shit. Y'all been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, informally, you feel me? That's how it is. Like, since we were young, it's always been like, damn, like, I had a YouTube career for a while when I was like in high school, you feel me? Like, Free's been doing music for damn near his whole life, you feel me? So, I think it's like, when we were able to finally put a structure around the different actual skill sets that we have, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And see like, damn, okay, like, this is something that we would pay a company to do, but we have the skills to do it. We just kind of do it naturally and don't put a thought behind it or a plan behind it. So I think once we got that structure, like 4 years ago, whenever it was, now that we started in this media, it's just been like a steady incline.
How long do y'all go back with each other?
Since we were little kids,
Yeah.
7,
Listen,
6.
you guys, I mean, I commend all of you guys for, one, doing that and doing it anyway, right? Like, because you all were going to do this regardless, and then deciding to make it a company, and then deciding to specialize in each role, because 99% of people, because everyone has this with their friends, bro, there's like, we're going to do this, and everybody crashes out, and everybody goes their own way, to a point where my suggestion for people when they come in with a big group is like, after a while, everyone starts to drift off, and then I have to talk to that one serious person and be like, you have to leave your friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and y'all are the outliers. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. It's truly amazing that you guys are able to. Do you have any suggestions with that? Or is it just because that's what's the most interesting is y'all are literally like sandbox friends that just ruin. Not like never, bro, never. So
it's like it's cliche for real, but it's like just do it for the right reasons. You feel me? Like I feel like the reason that like we decided to do it together isn't because we didn't have no other option or because we wanted to, for money or for, cool point, whatever it was. Like, it was always just for the right reasons because we genuinely enjoyed it. And it's like we've been brothers for so long that, like, of course, like, if you have a brother or a sibling, you know what I mean, you know that it's like, that's the type of relationship that it's like irreplaceable. You know what I mean? So when you match that with everybody kind of somehow naturally kind of filling the gaps for the other person, like, you know what I mean? I feel like the craziest part about it that you might just have to call luck or destiny or whatever is that like we kind of complete each other in a way, you know what I mean, as far as like our skill sets, but it's really, bro, just being that shit for the right reasons, because that's how I feel like things start to fragment and like break off.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because there is a lot of, like, in that situation I described with the room full of all these people, a lot of times it's 9 people who want to be artists, and then in their head when they imagine everyone making it, the person who's imagining is always in the center and their 8 homeboys are all behind them. Everyone has that in their head, and as soon as one person, because one person does go, right, they become the center, then that's when the hate starts, that's when the envy starts, that's when the insular destruction starts, and then everyone crashes out. You know, I think, and you doing it for the right. Yeah, I think that's big. And is knowing who you are and then keeping your relationship more important than the gains, I suppose, the riches, the success.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great insight.
Because success to us, man, I mean, success is already here. You know what I mean? Like, what more could I ask for, me personally? I'll speak on myself personally. I know that the guys feel the same because we've been together for so long. But, I mean, I'm with my family. I'm doing it with my brothers. And I'm making a sustainable living. I feel like if life was to end today, I'm very successful.
Yeah.
You know? And I couldn't ask for more. You know, even if I had less tomorrow, today I could not ask for more. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
We're all grateful for it. You know,
For sure.
Everything else is a cherry on top, bro. Yeah,
Yeah. Because the success is the bond, I guess, right? You get to live your life, bro. And then everything else is extra, bro.
Cause like money's a driving factor, obviously, bro. But like literally, just think about the reasons that you want money. Like if the reasons you want money is so you can like buy shit and like fuck those, like I don't really know what to tell you. But like personally, the reason I always wanted money is like, damn, I wish I could like nobody could think about bills and we could all just chill at the crib and like fucking have a good time. And it's like aside from the bills, we got that right now. So it's like literally like Mark said, like it's a cherry on top, bro. Like
Yeah. And I know y'all work ethic because I've known y'all for a while, so I will say on camera too, y'all deserve it. And y'all are getting more and more.
Gym rats.
Huh.
The gym rats, you feel me?
Yeah, that's what you got.
Y'all work ethic is outstanding.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I really feel the same way with like everything we're doing too. Like I feel a very similar way with just like I'm just glad we're doing it. Like I'm just glad I'm doing the podcast. Like this was everything I'm doing now. I thought to do like over 2+ years ago. Damn near everything I'm doing now was supposed to be done with someone else, and it's being done differently. Just because people be too slow for me. Like I need to go. Like I don't like when I'm chilling with somebody. I'm like, man, I hear them say we should do this. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, you do it.
Pull out the iPad. And I'm like, oh, but no, bro, because I mean, it's just okay. No, never mind, bro. Nah, bro. No, because if you tell me we can do something, what's stopping us? Like, I mean, unless I gotta need it, but like, what's stopping me?
People fall in love with the ideas. Like people, for a lot of people, bro, the idea of the thing is sufficient enough for like months and months at a time.
Oh my god,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? And then
And
having the logo to look at, you know.
like it's I don't even know what to call it, but it's like the sense of like validation. I feel like, and I'm guilty of it too. I feel like it's easy, you know what I mean? So like you feel a little validation from telling people you're working on something. So like you know what I mean? The thing about it is like a fucked up cycle. You gonna fuck around and say like, yeah, you gonna tell everybody I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and reality you just gassing it up.
Yeah.
And 2 months later, you ain't got nothing more stuff for it. That's why motherfuckers switch over to some whole other shit. Next time you like, how that shit going? Bro, I got something better, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta sometimes do the work, make the progress first.
We had an episode
you know
where
what I mean?
we talked about the honeymoon phase of entrepreneurship. That's exactly what that is, right? Because the idea, like, you go in with this naive idea of like what the success is going to be, who you're going to be, and you kind of form an identity and you form a world in your head, and then you can live in that for maybe 3 months, right? Like maybe, and then when the reality of what it is in real life is, and the work, and what you need to do, and the pain, and the all this, and the sacrifice hits, then people, I think, instinctively think, oh, this isn't for me. And then they try to jump to something else. And then if you do that enough, you can either keep tricking yourself, or you can understand that every endeavor in entrepreneurship that you're going to do is going to hit those same walls of you have to do the work. You got to learn the skills. You got to make the connections. You might have to spend the pay. And if you don't spend the pay, then you better figure out a way to have a service in order to obtain the money. That's the route I went.
Mm-hmm.
Is like that's why I learned engineering. Like my thing with engineering was I was never even trying to be an engineer or in marketing or anything. I was trying to be a rapper. And my mindset was I'm gonna engineer instead of working as a line cook in a kitchen. You know, that was that was the start of my everything. So instead of trying to figure out a way to pay my way, I figured out a way to get paid the way. You know what I mean?
That's what you're saying.
And it's in that same lane too.
Yeah,
bro.
right.
Because
because to me, I mean, that's where I made, like, you know, obviously a lot of my connections from those Mix Factory days. Like the first inkling of me, I'm in the background of the Rogaine Global video, which I think was in 2016. Which, you know, and that was like the flicker of like me and who I was about to be or whatever. But like before that, it was like I was writing raps in my mom's basement, and then I was engineering for I think maybe 6 months hard. I lived in that studio. But anyway, that's a side.
No, I think that's a fact, like you said, but that's why I feel like, when you hear like a lot of people, whether it be like a Kobe or like a businessman, they talk about like you gotta love the grind because like you want there to be a honeymoon phase, you feel me? Like, but you don't want it to ever end because ideally, like your dream of what you're trying to do is worth all of that work that it's gonna take, you feel me?
Sure.
So you gotta like either one, like you said, be delusional to a point where like you almost like mindlessly like run through the work, or you gotta love the grind, bro.
Yeah.
You can't go around it.
Everything is a grind, but you can pick the grind. That's the best advice, because if you don't pick the grind, you're going to be grinding for somebody else.
Ain't nothing that's not a grind. You either gonna have to think real hard or work real hard physically, bro. Like,
Right. Or you're going to have to be emotionally fucked up working and doing something that you don't feel in your heart is worth doing, and then going home to decompress and then just like, play the game or get wasted or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the life that I want to avoid. That's I think that's fundamentally why we're entrepreneurs, because I see everybody who's trapped in that life, right, with no exit. And then instead of trying to find an exit, they find holes to bury themselves in and just kind of hang out and like hug their PlayStation or like hug the bottle or like hug their weed.
It's like just past time.
Right, and it's like there's nothing wrong with those things, but it's like if you're at work and like the only escape is playing Fortnite, or you know what I mean? Or like the only escape is getting high and you have no exit, but you hate your day to day, that's a fucking problem.
I see what you're saying, because people become their 9-to-5s.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because your 9 to 5 ends up really in real life these days becoming your 7 to 7.
Fact,
yeah.
Man, you always on fucking Gmail and shit. You working at home.
Yeah. That's and it's funny when you were talking about like when you had to, not funny, but when you had to do those things instead of going to be a line cook, you're like, let me go find my lane.
Yeah.
That I can do, because that's what at first I took the corporate route first. I jumped in 18 into sales and all type of shit, because I'm like, I knew after I ended up still trying with the music. I just threw the link in my bio, made a link tree, and I'm like, bro, well, I'm not on type shit. Yeah. And then I'm sitting back watching. I worked for people like Jason Capital and just other big names, and saw how marketing works, and just saw how this dude, the guy I was working for, was making $400K a month. Online shit. I was like, nobody knew who he was last year. I got to watch him do launch something and go.
That's a blessing to be there.
And I did that 4 times. So I did that with Taki Moore, did that with Jason Capital, with Andrew 6K, and Jason Wojcik.
That's God, bro.
And I didn't know it, and that's why we're in the church now, because I'm like, a lot of things in the Bible, I start to see that happen. I start to see those ideas in real life, and especially the one you're never not where you're supposed to be. You're always in the right place. And I remember at those places thinking, I hate it here. I didn't hate it there, but I'm like, whenever I notice something that's wrong when I'm working for someone else, I get mad when I'm not allowed to, be creative and help. I'm like, we can do this, fuck you, you never made $1 million, you can't tell me this. I won't say which one that was, but it definitely wasn't Jason Capital. He was one of the best bosses ever. But one of those guys, man, it was, heads. But yeah, that was kind of the route. That's how I'm able to do these things. Now I can focus on music and do it for the love. Yeah. Because I went to Renaissance in Detroit, and I was trying to cater to those guys.
Yeah, the Renaissance?
Yeah.
I ain't go there.
Who's playing?
2014.
2014, I'm 2018. Crazy.
Did y'all pass? Did y'all pass each other?
We probably saw each other. We probably saw each other.
I left second year and went to Ham High though.
Oh dang! So you probably didn't see. I was super lame until second semester.
Lame.
I was the only person. I read the manual and it said tuck in our shirts. I'm like, oh, so I tucked in my shirt. No one else was. I'm like, what's going on? Why y'all put it in? But no, I was lame there. But I was trying to cater to those guys, and that's not my target audience. I don't know why I'm the way I am, but I don't know how I grew up on Dexter and Gladstone and all that. And just ended up at this school with people who grew up in the same places, but I don't like none of the same shit. So I'm trying to cater to them. But I found out that pop is my lane, R&B, pop, rap sometimes, but pop and melodies, that type of shit is my lane. And it's you can cater to them with that. But the guys you knew who rapped for me all made Detroit type music, something along that line. So I was stuck in the box for years making music that wasn't even for me, with gun lines and shit. And this ain't even, my dad got guns, but this ain't really me type shit. So
Yeah.
now that cause I was doing that because I'm like, I can't blow up making my type of music. I can't make bread from that. I gotta, but now I can make music for fun and do all of this other shit, for some monetization. I don't care if music makes me a dime at this point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because as we get into ambition, that was where my ambition almost lost it for a second, because I'm like, how can I make music I love without, how can I make music I love and, still propping off? I'm like, I feel like if you're getting this music first, you don't ever want to do something that you really, really love and have to do it for bread, for immediate bread, because you're going to rush your process and you're going to stop loving what you do. And that was me for a while. I stopped loving it.
If you're trying to get it, I'm going to just tell everyone this right now. If you're getting into music to make fast money, quit.
Worst thing to do.
That's,
unless you're going to commit to it.
Like, if you try to spend that bag, you might as well go flip songs.
Right.
Unless you're committed to satire. If you put a lot of money into satire, you can almost guarantee you're going to make some bread.
Well, it depends. It depends.
If you do it the right way.
Quit. But it's like that gets oversaturated too, right? That's a fine line, But no, but it's, and that's why me with artistry in general is like, we were just talking off camera, like you are a conduit to something, right? It's like, it's almost not even you. Once you get to that level of artistry, it's not even you. Like kind of saying things just kind of come to you, and the things that pop into your brain, it's your job to express those, but it's not your job to even, I'm of the belief that people don't even create it. It just hits
That's
them.
how I feel. Like I don't, when I'm writing, like for me, like my process, I turn the beat on and I let shit come to me. Right. So first I let the cadence come to me, and then as I write something, but like I remember in like elementary, middle school, like some of high school, then I got out of it, and I would always go to Rhyme Zone, like go to some type of rhyme dictionary once I get stuck. But now when I get stuck, I just wait until the line comes to me. Right. And I'll be driving, and it's like, oh yeah, that's it. Or I live a little, and I'm like, I gotta talk about this.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I found letting shit come to me, like, I know some dudes who punch and it goes well, but it's like, now it's like, I punch for fun, but it's like, when I'm making for my album song, like, I can't punch.
That's the difference between me and you too, bro, as far as artists, because I love to punch because of the element of the rawness of what just comes out. I made a song
with that's what we made though. That one, the songs where you made me punch, not made you, but I like to just do what, if I'm on a song with you, I like to do.
You catch a vibe,
But it turned out, but if I didn't follow your lead, I don't know.
But it's process is different for everybody. The trick is to be confident in who you are as a person, and then be confident in the way that you rap.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing for people.
Confidence has been a big issue.
Yeah. Well, it's less. I think that confidence. I mean, we should probably get into what's on the sheet, but confidence, bro. It's interesting because like the only way to get confidence is to get like feedback. But before you get feedback, you have to put yourself out there, and people are scared to put themselves out there. And that's, I think, fundamentally why people do music they think they're supposed to do, or they get swept from the influence of people because they're afraid to show their real interest, right? And that also falls into like peer pressures and group. I mean, I think that's most people, right? Yeah. And I would even argue the people who are the most successful that I've seen are the people who said, "Fuck what you think. I'm doing this. And I don't care if you think it's hard because I know it's hard." And they're right a lot of times.
Bro, that's a good point, because I mean, you think about like when a lot of like newer things come out, I feel like at least I know certain artists that like might water themselves down, and it's a confidence issue, right? Like you might be on some like dope shit, you might be real raw, and whether it's overthinking or again confidence issue that makes you kind of tail back on some of the things that make you different.
Yeah.
Now you just holding yourself back, you know what I mean? And like you said, being a conduit, you're a medium at that point in a way, you know what I mean? Like you're taking this feeling. That's why music's universal, because it's like, it's a feeling, bro. So like, when you capture that feeling, you gotta put that bitch out organically. Don't be afraid to, don't dip your toes.
I just did a song today, bro. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. I fucked up and I did a half bar. And then I was like, oh, that's good. Accidentally. There was a feeling, I'm going to show it to you, but it's like I did a half bar because I couldn't get the rest of the line, but then I kept that because it was like emotionally back. But anyway, okay, let's go to the sheet. My bad.
No, you're good, man. I've been vibing. We don't got wifey here. She's our ADHD alarm. Yeah. She puts up like red and like yellow and like
we get to ramble.
I really know it's easy. Yeah, but I'm gonna try to subconsciously be her. But I mean, ambition, man. Like I've been having a lot of conversations with people in ambition, and it's like I personally like it's become overrated to me. Like if someone tells me they're ambitious, especially if you look at the definition, because it's simply to desire success. And it's like so many people have told me that they're ambitious, and I'm finding that maybe you are, but that doesn't matter because ambition without the discipline part, you just wishful thinking. It's like, oh, I wish I could be there. Or we watched.
That's a bar, bro. Ambition without the discipline is wishful thinking.
And I found that the hard way because I'm like, I have to ask myself, what do I really want? Because what am I putting my time towards? 2K, all this bullshit, smoking, whatever I was doing. And it's like, if I look at, because I feel like your bank account and your habits and your day-to-day is going to tell you what is most important to you.
For sure.
I looked at I reevaluated, I'm like, I'm ambitious, but I'm not serious,
Right.
So I think, for you, if you could touch on that, what's your, before we kind of open it up, what's your version of ambition, and where do you feel like, what's the fine line? So we're like, no, you're ambitious or you're just, a piece of shit.
Well, I think it's good to have ambition, but success is people's idea of success is too material, right? And it's like, in order to really, in my opinion, be actually successful, it has to be rooted in what you guys just said. You guys are successful because you're doing it's with your family, and you found a way to take all of your collective ambition and put one thing on it, and it became Menace Media, and it was going to happen regardless of the name or not, right?
Yeah,
basically, right?
100%.
And so it's tough. I told y'all off camera this too, where it's like there was a point in my career of this not too long ago where I was doing things, making moves, and making connections with people because they could help me in my ambition, and that was wrong because if you do it falsely, then you crash out because then you're like fake, right? Basically, and people can smell that shit, and it doesn't feel good to kind of be a snake in the room anyway. And people who are good at that, it's
You're a psycho.
you're a psycho or you're lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, so ambition, I think the fine line is when you sacrifice your values and morals and ethics for it. You know what I mean? Because it's like here, the hierarchy that I go with is, God first, and then, who you're supposed to be, and then children, wife, people that help you make money, friends. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And
the people that help you make money.
Well, the people who help you make money over your friends, it's more because it affects everything.
Those are just more important friends, I would say.
Well, yeah, in the nature of what we do.
Ideally,
Yeah, in the nature of
those
what we
my
do.
friends.
Yeah, all of us in this room being entrepreneurs, it's like I had to cut people off who aren't money-minded anyway, or don't have, because it's not the money. The money is a requirement to do the cool shit.
Exactly.
My goal, my ambition is to do cool shit with cool people and make that my life. Spend as much time with my family as humanly possible, incorporate them in the cool shit, and then just do cool shit with cool ass people, bro. Yeah. And that's it. And to me, that's winning. If all of my bills get paid, doing cool shit, and my girl doesn't have to work, and my kids can go to good schools and learn jujitsu and eat not poison fucking big chickens, like that's and then they got the poison. But beyond that, so I think it's like people get over, people fantasize about the material shit, but people want that shit as a way to earn respect or earn something. It's an ego trip, right? It's an ego trip, and it's like this. The money is just a validation that the cool shit you do works in the market. That's the way I think about it. If you're doing it authentically, because obviously you can get off and make a lot of money, but I know miserable rich people. It's money only fixes money problems. That's also an Alex Hormozy thing. But money only solves the money things. And
I like
that's a fucked up art, bro.
Yeah, and quite honestly, there's not a lot of money things that are. They're big things, but the number of things.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not a lot.
It's
food, shelter, bills, gas, transport, all that. But beyond that,
essentials,
things that will not make you die. But then beyond that, it's like because then it's just nicer car, bigger box to live in. You know what I mean?
That's why they're good, bro, because they don't know what to do with all that money. They're gonna just keep raising the survival threshold.
Right.
If it costs as much to survive, then I'm still, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, that's
But it's like you straight as hell, bro.
Right.
I saw Krishan, I'm not about to explain who she is. I don't feel like you should know who she is. You know who she is?
I don't know who she is.
She's great. But this
Fuck me.
this lady, this girl named Krishan on Instagram, you probably seen her a lot. I saw that it was something about her spending like over 15 bands a month on whatever place she was in. I'm just like,
It's a lot of chicken nuggets.
When would I, because it's like personal preference is cool, but it's like, that killed me because I'm like, those are people who crash out.
Well, it
About
depends.
NBA players who, you know, can't make a dime now, or can't, you know, they didn't know what to do with the club, and they let the, you know, the bread, and they had the mansions and all these places. You got, once they get traded so many times, now they're getting houses every place they've been traded to, and now they just, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, well, that's basic money management.
Yeah.
But again, so to me, just and you have to be ambitious for the right reasons.
Right.
You know, exactly what y'all.
And obviously you need to have some type of level of delusion when it comes to ambition. But for you, in this context, what's a bad example of being delusional, like in this context?
How do you feel? It's a bad example of being delusional.
That's a good question. I think just a person that constantly lies to themselves, you know, about doing things that they know is not good for them or doesn't really feed into their happiness, and they're convinced that, you know, one day it'll be the perfect moment to make this shift, and it's not really like that simple, you know. So I think the biggest delusion is to, like, having like the veil over your eyes of like this life that is not really what you're like living, you know what I mean?
Right, like the actions that you're doing isn't going to lead to the promised land, so to speak.
Exactly. You know what? Actually, I want to actually add on to this. Sorry.
Yeah.
The biggest delusion, honestly, is the delusion of attachments. You know what I'm saying? Every human being is faced with the bare weight of attachments, whether it's love, family, material, everything on this earth. Nothing you can take with you, right? Right. Beyond like the impact and feelings, which I personally feel make impacts on your soul. You know, the delusion of attachments is something that it's 99% of people cannot get over it. You know, it's insanely tough.
That's such a deep. So I was thinking about death. Let's lower the line. Well, I was thinking about death. So I forgot where I saw this. But someone basically said that you're not afraid of dying, and you're not afraid of like even the pain, generally speaking, because like, you don't know whatever. What you're afraid of is exactly what you're afraid of: losing the things that are most base to you. You're afraid of losing the relationships. You're afraid of losing your soul in this world. That's what you're afraid of when you die. And I've been thinking, literally, bro. I'm so glad, bro, that I've been thinking about that for 2 weeks. I mean, that's the truest thing, because what really when you die, like, you know what it was. Like, you tell, what was it like in the 1800s? I don't know. I wasn't fucking here. And after, you know, 2100, for me, it'll be, you know, the same nothingness, right? But it's like you're afraid of not partaking in this game, I guess, that we're playing.
100%.
And so it's the attachment. So I'm sorry not to keep heading on, but it's like when you lose the idea, when you're not afraid of losing the most base attachments, right? Like, I've been thinking about it, like, the most important thing is my daughters, and imprinting what to do right in this world, because my only real fear when I'm gone is that my daughters won't know what to do. So it's like my job is to make sure that I'm going to do obviously everything that I can to set an example and provide. I honestly think the example is more important than providing, but that's a whole other conversation. But setting the example, providing, and then giving them the tools to be themselves, I think is the most important thing, and then provide for themselves. And if I do those things, then there's no reason, to be honest, there's no reason to be here anymore.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or functionality standpoint.
Right, or even because it's like, then it's, you know, so my grandma died relatively recently, and I don't want to say I was happy when she died, but I was kind of relieved, because for literally 10 years, she was like, I'm done. She's just like, there's nothing left to look forward to. Like, all her kids are grown, she has grandkids. The grandkids, my kids, her great-grandkids were the thing that gave her the most joy, just seeing them, and you know what I mean? But beyond that, it's wake up, take a shower, go to church, fuck with your bills, watch TV for a decade. You know, my grandfather died like 10 years maybe before she died. And it's like, so she did all the things that she did. I mean, I even think about, I was born in like, you know, when I was a kid, she already lived her, you know, double what my life is now. She was kind of already done when I was 10, and I'm 33 now. So it's like, if you think about that, it's like, then she's just hanging out waiting for the bus. Like, she's just there, like, looking, like, take me, for real. And it's like, and it's not that she doesn't love the people, but it's like, it gets to a point, and she said it, she said it out of her mouth, and I think everyone in my family just was like, okay. But like I was like, she's like, I'm done. I'm just ready to go. When I go, it's fine. And she's like, I just hope that you keep me in your heart. She said something to that effect, and everyone kind of dismissed it. People were seeing that.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You're being morbid. Oh my God.
No, but it's still
She 100% of the game, bro.
Yeah.
She 100% of the game.
Yeah.
She beat the DLC, bro. Like,
Yeah, I didn't even
a lot of people don't make it. Like, bro, like it's crazy. Like, not to cut you.
No,
off,
go ahead.
But like literally, like my grandpa used to say a lot of the same shit before he passed. Like he used to damn near be like, man, I hope I don't even wake up tomorrow. I really, bro, you tripping? Like, why are you saying that type of shit? But they would always be like, what I'm doing? Like, you guys are fucking y'all in college, y'all did like you guys all grown. Like, I'm done. I ain't got nothing to do here. Like, so it's like that the idea of like, you know, and maybe I don't know if this has anything, but maybe like could be like on some like a masculine point of view, because like we might feel like, yo, our job of providing is done. 2 fucking generations are here and fully grown. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But like that idea of like, you know, your job is done. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Like you said, what'd you say? It was greater than the providing the experience or
The example.
the
Setting the
example.
Uh-huh.
Because life is so much before us and so much after us. You know, I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in our own egos and ego as a person. You know, like to think this is the only time because right now is what we're experiencing. But like the examples that you leave, the impressions of like love and of who you are and your character can trickle down over time. It can be 60 years, 100 years. Your actions can affect people, and they can talk to somebody else about it, their nephew or just a friend, and that can affect the next person. And we don't even get to see the full impact of any of our you know, time here spent on Earth.
Right.
And it's crazy to see that, you know. And then once you start believing that, that's when like I feel like a lot of actions become selfless. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Well, there's the expression, you know, hurt people, right? And it's like if you can remove the ego, like what you said, a lot of pain comes from attachment. Remove the attachment, you damn near remove the pain.
yeah.
And then you can just kind of move. And then that goes right back to ambition, what we were talking about, the negative side of ambition is what are you attached to? You know what I mean? Because I'm ambitious for my family. I'm ambitious for the people I love. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you can corrupt that, and many people do. Because they're like, I need to get rich because I was poor and my dad was in jail and my mom was on dope and my brother's in jail and I need all this money so that I could get, you know, so that I could show to them that I got it. But then you get it and you don't know what to do with it because you're from this environment, and then all those bad habits creep up. You know what I'm saying? And then you can lose it. And the people who, you know, when you were successful financially, if you crash out, they're not there for you, and now it's double as hard because, you know what I'm saying?
Now you're
But it's kind of like ego based, right?
It's ego based as fuck, bro. Like when y'all were just talking about that, I feel like I was really just thinking about like setting the example is providing. Like that's the greatest form of providing. Like paying the bill, on God paying the bills is like the easy part for real. Like you can get a job doing anything anywhere, bro. Uber, you could Uber. Like paying, like keeping the lights on is the easiest part of being a parent.
For sure.
Like setting the example is the hardest part. That's the shit where like you can't take no days off because buddy might be watching what you doing and he see you.
Not might, they are always.
know,
My daughter, she's 5 years old. This came out of her mouth.
Everything probably, bro.
This came out of her mouth. This is a direct quote. She's like, Dad, I don't listen to you. I just do whatever you're doing. She said that. She said that. It came out of her mouth. And
Bro.
who are you, bro?
To this day, I be making the same like face that my dad makes when he ties his hair. Every time I tie, like I never like nobody else makes, but it's just literally like you said, kids be watching their parents, bro, and watching what they do. And there's a lot of people out here that are like providing like to fuel their own egos. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like they're providing, so like in their social circles, they're like, damn, you really putting up. But like when they're thinking about a bag, it's not like. Speaking from experience, like with a bunch of Albanian people that like they come up and instead of thinking about like providing for their kids in a way where it's like setting an example, it's like how can I use money to like nurture a good person or you know what I mean, things of that nature. It's like, oh, I'm gonna give my kid a Beamer and he gonna pull up to school shit. Everybody gonna know I'm putting on for it. and then they crash out. You feel me? And they gotta go get a
You're creating
loan.
monsters.
You feel me? It's
So
like,
now he has that unearned like bravado, like I'm the shit. It's like you didn't do anything.
and that's the example you just taught him. It's like
Right,
that's
exactly
providing is stroking your own ego by spoiling your family. Like that shit.
That's deep.
Like, yeah.
That's very deep.
Yeah.
That's the double-edged sword, because a lot of people who are poor and grew up poor, they think that they look at rich people, right, and they're like, they have everything. But they have everything except for the struggle that you have right now that shows you that this is all kind of bullshit, right?
100%.
Because it's like then when you get it, if you go, a lot of people who manage to keep it from being broke to having it, don't do shit like that. Generally speaking,
100%.
you know what I mean? And so it's like if you're born wealthy and like you said, like your father was buying you a Beamer so you could shit on your high school friends. Like how are you as a child going to internalize that in the world? And there's
I could tell you how, bro.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I got fam that literally like that, bro. Like dad talking like, if you go to college, I'll buy you a Corvette. You got the Corvette, never went to college. He been in and out of jail for 30, 40 years now, bro. You feel me? But that's like obviously that's an extreme example,
right.
But that being said, like that's where the example, the providing of the example of how to be a man or a woman in this world is way greater than swiping on the bills, bro.
That's very deep because what you said, it makes dents on your soul, or it impacts your soul. So it's like now I kind of want to encapsulate that whole thing is setting an example is providing for the soul.
Yeah.
I like
Facts.
that.
100%.
That's the sentence. We're gonna put it in cursive.
I'll set me up, man, because I'm back to editing now, bro. I got a better system. But before we kind of get into the good delusion, something when you guys were talking about that success, because it seems like you guys, from what I've just listening, you guys all have a really good, in my opinion, version of success. Like what success is to you, I feel like it's healthy, and I feel like what happens is even people who do have similar healthy version of success, they let social media, they let their friends change what they think success is. You know, and that reminded me of that quote I said a few episodes ago, because I'm late to Rick and Morty. When I first saw it being like advertised, I thought, well, it's just a silly show, but I'm like, oh, that's good deep. But because Rick always dropped a bar, but one of the biggest bars that he dropped was, I don't care, because these guys were like booing him for something. He was like, I don't care about your boos, I've seen what makes you cheer. Yeah. And I'm like, that's for the people I see in the, if you're
100%.
that, and I was like, that's helped me, like that show obviously helped me with self-esteem and confidence for real with some of this shit, because it helped me. I'm a logical person, and they broke so many insecurities down logically. Like, why do you care? I'm like, oh, like that makes sense, and I just stopped. Even with me dropping my pop music now, posting on my own shit, I'm like, I shouldn't care about the people who like Blueface's music. I shouldn't care about their views. It's not nothing against them, but it target audience type of thing. But that definitely got me there. But for you, I keep saying for you because I'm used to saying that. But for y'all, from what I got of that, my takes from bad delusion, calling yourself ambition, never mastering discipline. That sounds like an easy one. Saying you want to be rich but not changing your habits, they're damn the same thing. But that's just showing people what I mean by discipline. A lot of people, they hear discipline and they just like, that makes you want to turn to something up. You want to turn the podcast up. They talk about discipline again. It's like, it's so hard and no one ever tells you how. But it just starts with changing like your habits and changing the things you give your energy to. Another bad delusion, for example, me putting a link in my bio wondering why I'm not a household name yet. Why is nobody, know Jay Scream is, and it's just, I didn't do anything. I wasn't even giving people. I'm just like, song dropped, I made the cover art, let's go. Like, I didn't drop the song like that, but a lot of that is just, it seems like bad delusion is just not taking action. Bad delusion is just staying ambitious. And, cause my thing is, I'm not gonna say I hate because I understand it. I feel like I've been in all these places where I do, now I'm very critical. Which is just, I feel like the most judgmental people usually, if you're not a bad person and you're judgmental, you're probably super ambitious and you're probably hard on yourself. Because for me, I'm super hard on myself, so if I'm being judgmental, I don't want nobody to take it to heart because it's like, you're not even getting it as bad as I do. But I just hate when people watch a commercial or see something where it's like, it looks great. Like, oh, I wish that could be me. That shit killed me.
Yeah, I don't like that wish.
I hate it, bro. I hate it so, but I can't wait. I can deal with I can't wait. I don't like that much either, but I'd rather hear I can't wait than I wish. Because I'm like, that's why I can't hang with people who don't think things are possible because you scare me. It's like, bro, but what's good delusion for you guys? What's been some examples of that you guys have had to like take on this growth and like, just coming into what you guys have seen?
It would be, it's crazy because life is really like about balance. Because like if you teeter too far in either direction, like stretch out. You feel me? But like honestly, it's about like in certain instances being able to put 100% faith into the objective plan or outlook that you know you have when something, you know, sporadic might happen, or you know a certain emotion might like come over. You know, you never know what's gonna happen, bro. It's like, but you know, I think having to tell yourself in a moment where like you really don't know if everything gonna work out, but everything will work out, and so you should keep doing it because everything's gonna work out. And once it does, you're gonna be pissed that you ain't do it, so you might as well keep doing it. But it's probably that delusion to push through in that moment that keeps shit afloat over time. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you got, it's like a little hole in the raft. You know, you might think like that shit ain't gonna make us sink. So you know, versus like, yo, you know, nah, we gotta just stick to it, bro. Like, but again, if your objective plan and outlook is wrong, then you might be, you know, committing yourself to the wrong thing. Who knows? But
because I think that's the biggest thing is just, you know, that plan is what makes you, because I feel like what makes it bad delusion is just obviously not just doing it the wrong way.
yeah.
So I feel like the way you described it, I mean, just going into anything, I feel like whatever you give the most of your energy to, I feel like no matter what, that's gonna work. But you just have to give it your all and your energy as long as it's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to know, I guess.
It is for sure, bro. Because I think that's like one of the things that I mean personally I struggled with when I was like in college, because I was at like business school and I was at Michigan, so it's just like a bunch of like super rich like East Coast kids, like, you know what I mean, like, you know, kudos to them, but it's just a very different like mindset I think that like I was in versus the rest of people, you know what I mean? So for me it was like, in a way, it's like reverse engineering what you want to do, you feel me? Like in a perfect world, like in a dream world, what would I be? I'd be in the NBA probably, right? Physically, bro, it ain't there, you know what I mean? Bad delusion would be saying, nah, fuck it, bro, I just practice enough, like, I could Pablo Perchi, you don't need that shit, be a rookie at 37 or some shit.
Oh, yeah, true.
But instead, it's like, okay, I was starting to think about like, alright, if I was already rich as hell, like, what the fuck would I do with my free time? You feel me? Because then it's like, now you kind of taking money out of the equation for yourself mentally. You know what I mean? Like, if I think about what my dream job would be, 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking about something that pays really handsomely. But if I'm imagining I'm already paid as fuck, what the fuck would I be doing with my free time? That's the type of shit that you should like chase, type, you know,
Sure.
or find a way to like make work. So like, for example, hooping, like I will hoop all the time in my free time, and I, you know what I mean. So you start to look at like ancillary things in that industry. Like I love hooping, I love sports and music, and I like photography and videography. There's a clear link right there. So I might not be able to be in the game, but I could be on the court taking pictures, you know what I mean? And it's something that I would do in my free time. So it's like, try to take money out of the equation as much as possible. Because like money's just a metric in America. You know what I mean? Like everything runs on money. So like money's always, it's just a metric. Like how you were saying about like, you let people around you that are money minded. But I feel like really what that means is like, what you were saying about ambitious people that don't take action. The money-minded person is the one that's like trying to make $1. So if you're trying to make $1, you gotta take action. So like that's usually the person that's ambitious with some level of like what's the word? Initiative. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. That's actually even better. Maybe it's not even money-minded. Maybe it's just people who I don't even want to say.
Just people who not committed to being bums. Like people who are committed to not being bums.
Here's what it is. It's someone who's trying to be a better version of themselves every day.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that I'm good enough as I am shit. There is something to be said about that, but it's like there's you can always be better, right?
100%.
Without beating yourself up and killing yourself. But it's like
balance,
right. But it's like you can always, you know, me as a parent, like what you just said, your kids just you like. I'm on high alert every time. Every time I do anything bad, bro, I'm like, my kids are gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if it's in front of them, so that kind of tilts me there. So,
I'm gonna say this before we move on, just so I don't forget to tell y'all. And if I forget to tell y'all when I watch this episode when I'm editing, I'll remember to tell y'all then. But within, I mean, you guys, the format I had, y'all fill out. If y'all didn't get a chance, it's cool. But once y'all fill that out, it'll automatically put y'all in the target community. There's gonna be a lot of different ways I would love to collaborate, but there's one thing that when you was talking about hooping, man. So I love to hoop, and that was something I ended up having to not quit, but it was like when I started Renaissance, I wanted to be in a basketball team. And everybody that I was researching ways. I'm like, well, at the time I was like 5'4", 5'5", so I'm like, I gotta come with something. So I just searched. A lot of people say, cross country and track helps.
Yeah.
But once I started doing that, Coach Weaver, did you get to meet Coach Weaver?
Yeah.
Great, amazing guy. But the only downside was, I like that he got me to stay there, but it was just like, who knows, what I could have did, at least on a high school level. But he just was like, no, you gotta stay here, this is what you do. And I went on city and stuff, it messed in my back a little bit, but it gave me some little clarity, but no, I wish that I had kept playing basketball. But I say all that to say, we're putting together
keep going.
We are putting together a community that will be like a local community for like hoopers. So like when putting together like hoop run and stuff like that. So I'm like, the fact that you said that, I'm like, let me put you here. That's something we already working on. So that's definitely something. Cause I love hoop, man. That's like basketball, and even this year with the NBA, man, it's just crazy to watch. So do you watch or you just get
it? Yeah, no, I watch it. Yeah.
Some people just like.
That's the only sport I watch for that, and like I keep up with like soccer and shit. Like I fuck with soccer.
I play soccer.
I can't wait to be athletic again. And my cigarette.
Yeah. When was the first? I didn't get to.
Well, when I was a kid, I played a lot of football. I like sports.
So bad, bro.
I'm okay. I'm very okay. I'm a decent mid-range jumper.
Okay.
I'm okay on defense.
I can see
You belong at our runs in.
Pick and pop.
Big man, bro.
So, but it's the cigarettes fuck me up. I quit alcohol, by the way. I don't know if y'all do that, but yeah. So that was a thing. Everyone praised me. Everyone praised me.
Whenever you say that, you gotta just.
So that was the thing, obviously, for my mindset. But now the cigarettes is sort of like one of the last things. Right? Just get
that shit got you through all the rest of it.
Right. No, it was a necessary evil.
Yeah. Well, I lateral moved into vaping, so like it's not good, but I think it's like this much better.
Yeah,
at least I don't smell like shit. Why does every weed smoker think that cigarettes and weed are the same?
Hey.
They are not.
When did I become a weed smoker?
They're not the same.
Weed does help the quitting, but not in any terms.
It helps the oral fixation part of it.
I will say this: when I'm high, I don't want a cigarette, but then I have to be high, and I can't function.
Oh no!
Think about
it like this: you usually gotta be high for like 2 weeks straight until that first fiend kick off.
But then that's a bill. But then I got a bill.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Then I gotta have.
If you smoke with me, bro, you gonna have to pay. I be meeting people to smoke with, bro. Like, what I'm saying. I work from home, so they just be sitting there, smoke break, but then the ADHD, it also calms me down so I can.
I used to be a weed smoker in high school. Like I got past the threshold of the insanity. Like, and you mellow into like a reasonable high. You know what I mean? But then it's like if you miss 3 days, it's like, oh, welcome back to the Thunderdome. Yeah,
it's just the first blend of.
Yeah, I died.
After that, you love it.
I do try to get high at least once a year just so I can meet my demons face to face. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like they're always swimming around in there. I kind of, but that might be a little too much. Then, they might be surrounding me and kicking me in the gut.
The ayahuasca?
You said you did ayahuasca?
No,
or you wanted it?
That wasn't like somebody's name.
Nah, it's like
that's a great name.
Right, it's not like that one basketball player, whatever, Sabrina,
Ionescu.
That's what I thought that you was talking about, though. What you talking about?
It's like some like Peruvian hallucinogen that's like the craziest trip.
Do you know what DMT is?
Type shit.
It is so. Say ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is the shamanistic version of DMT because it's the same chemical. DMT is like the pure form of that, but people's cultures use it still to this day, but use it in a spiritual, and it is,
it's like connect with the universe, and the earth and shit like that.
It shoots your soul out of your body, and you see the geometric lizard people, and they're like, "Stop smoking!" and then they send you back down. Type shit.
You guys should go on YouTube and look at apparently jaguars like fuck with ayahuasca.
The animal?
Like they be out there, bro. They see that shit. Like it's like BBC documentary video. Like they eat that shit and then they just be rolling around, look like house cats, bro.
Maybe it's not the lizard people that are the geometric. Maybe it's just jaguars who.
Right? Maybe it's a real lizard that just ate that shit, walking around on two.
He's like, fuck it. here I am in the spiritual realm. No, I'm kind of into that. I think when my money problems get handled, and then
Yeah, for sure.
you know, I'm afraid of being confronted by too many things at once.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know,
That's what everybody who does that says, bro. Everybody who does like hallucinations and shit a lot, they always say like, bro, you gotta be in a good headspace if you don't do it, because otherwise you could really like just have a terrible.
Yeah, you have a psychotic break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be me. That's what I've been staying away.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like I'm in the state of like manhood where like you're battling, like you're handling your emotions, like you're like figuring those out. Otherwise you're gonna be a piece of shit. Like, you know, that was even with it was one thing I was talking about where it reminded me of just I don't know what I'm talking about, but it reminded me of like something about self-reflection, because it was like I had to fix myself a lot to even like for us to being married to be possible, because there was so much of deflection and just me, you know, being emotional and just not being knowing how to deal with that shit. So now I was talking about one of our episodes. We do relationship episodes every Tuesday. We didn't shoot this video. We were like off of 2 all-nighters and just missed it. Like we just was in the crib, but like, damn, you know I lost my tongue, bro.
Being a man.
But no, being a man. So yeah, bro. Like it's just having to like figure out these emotions made it so I'm crying more. Cause it's like, well, what happened? We were getting really bad arguments. I'm throwing shit, and it's because I found out now because I'm not crying. Cause like when girls want to cry, they do so whatever their version of getting upset is.
They cry.
You sometimes, but like no, cause I got me a hard one. She be trying to act all hard, like she can't cry, so she be sometimes getting in her mood too. But it's like crying. I think people don't know how good it is and how it. Like a lot of times, crying will stop you from going to fight. Cause a lot of times you want to fight because your feelings hurt. You cry. So
Yeah, emotion's not gonna go nowhere.
Exactly.
Like I mean, literally, man, that shit is torn. Like, you know, families up. You feel me? Like I had conversations with my family members. Like, bro, everybody here know. Like, your heart be in the right place, but you be trying to hold in this emotion that could either be a cry, whatever it may be. But instead, you think it's about to just disappear or something.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's just gonna come out in another emotion. So, like you said, like most super violent people, like. They need to cry like a mug, bro. Like,
People hurt me.
Shit. You always say
realize.
Yeah, other than movie, the abusive, whatever, dad or whoever, big hug, and you're just like, oh, it's because it's like something's gonna come out once you get that hug. You know, and that's what I had to do, because that helps me. You know, because I feel like that's another thing with being delusional. I was delusional. I'm like, I realized I have an anger issue. Because it's like a lot of people just, even somebody who wants to stop drinking, they'll say, I don't drink anymore. And it's like, that's it. You're delusional because you still have that urge. So it's like, me, I'm like, I broke like 370-inch screen TVs. So it's a bullshit.
Sony loves you.
And I'm like, bro, it's a problem. So I'm at Best Buy, like,
every week.
5 times.
Like another one.
Bro, like, no. So
they're
it's
just
like,
walking you in there, no conversation.
Like,
here they are. This one's on sale. Try not to crack this one. 1 week later.
Usual?
Yeah, usual. You have a usual at Best Buy.
Like, after all that, I'm like, okay, I got a problem. So I'm like, now whenever I feel, because it's like you get this weird feeling in your chest when you about to have, it's like, I call it an adult tantrum. Like, you about to have this thing, it's like, oh, let me go for a walk and do shit like that. But yeah, before we even get into goals today, because I feel like we can just go to like until like 7. I feel like 7 should go. Do you see something?
Is that right?
It's an hour.
That's an hour front, right? Okay, so 6:49.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you was looking at that because I saw you been looking at that like, oh no, what?
Yeah.
Okay, we good. But before we even get into, because the last thing I want to talk about is goal setting, but last few things on delusion. Good delusion, working towards a goal for 5 years straight. You know, barely seeing any progress. Committing to work even harder for the next 5 years. I saw this one thing. If you're not okay with just doing this thing and not seeing any progress, you should stop doing it. Like with music, if you're like gonna get upset if you're not on next year, you probably shouldn't be doing it. But that's an example of good delusion. Another for you guys, before I even go to mine, what are some more examples of like good delusion for you guys?
You got one?
I don't know.
I'm gonna speak on good delusion in this sense, right? Where it's like you have to already be living in the world that you're striving to achieve. You have to be sort of half in that as you move, and your actions have to be mapped there. Now, you can't fly all the way, like what you said, you're gonna crash out if you go too far in the spectrum. But it has to be a clear vision.
So it's a mental thing, not like a fake it till you make it, but like
Right.
a mental thing.
Well, the good delusion is because here's the truth. Here's the harsh reality: is that life is chaotic and bad shit can happen. Because you could believe wholeheartedly that you will be the next Drake, but then your parents die and you have to take care of your kids or your siblings or something. Like these things can happen.
Right.
Catastrophe can just hit you, right? But you have to believe that if you do the right things, then you will get to where you're going. I don't like being Drake as an example. I think it should be a little more broad. It should be a little more broad. Like be a paid artist. I think is better than being Drake, right? Like so these are of course the good delusion is the appropriate vision. I think is that, and then believing almost narcissistically that you are going to do it. And I am that way very much. I lost a friend. I lost a friend that I've had for a very long time. It's like 15 years. And the comment she made was, you've become a narcissist and an egomaniac. And I'm like, have you seen what I've done? I built Bankroads from nothing, man. You know what I mean? Like with my mouth, I put in all the work. I'm one of the best engineers in the city, arguably the best. You know what I mean? Like you can't take away what I've done. You can't take away the fact that I went from a line cook to making $5,000 a month every month.
Yeah.
On me, right? So it's like, but before that happened, it was when I was at Mix Factory working for them. Already in my head, I knew I was capable of making that and more. And right now in my head, I'm capable of. I know what my worth actually is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so now my reality has to actually catch up to my worth. And then when my reality catches up to my worth, then you have to reframe the world, right? But it's you have to believe that you can do it because and I also believe you can. But the journey aspect, right, is like there is no I can't do it. I'm very big on if there's a will, there's a way. If you put a time frame on it, you're gonna fuck yourself up. And I see artists do this all the time. If I don't make it by 35, I'm not gonna make music because what the fuck is a 35-year-old rapper? Yeah. What that says to me is you don't like making music, you just want to live the lifestyle. You just want to basically be an adolescent forever.
Right.
Because what people really say when they want to be a rapper is they want to fuck hoes, get high, and make money and basically be a kid forever. Because that's what a kid wants. If you're a 10-year-old boy and you give a 10-year-old boy, they're like, you can have anything you want to do, anything you want. He's like, I'm going to buy all the toys. Right. And I'm going to drink pop and play Fortnite. You know what I mean? And it's like when you become more of an adult, it's like I create because I have to. Really. And
this is what's going to pay the bills. That's what has to pay.
Well, right, exactly that. Because what I learned about myself, you said something earlier. I can't exactly remember what you said, but it was something. What did you say? It was so good. I forgot. God damn it. Anyway, it was like you have to find out who you are before you navigate into what you do, right? And I think that's like the layer, right? So it's like I know about myself. If I am not creating, my emotions get unmanageable, and I lash out on people around me. You know what I mean? I'm a good guy, but there are definitely bad things about me that I have to keep in check. And I think all of us are like
every single person.
Right. The phrase that I have is like, everyone talks about fighting your demons. Stop fighting them and just like give them a place to sit and keep them in check. Yeah. Keep your demons sort of.
Naruto, bro. You feel me? My boy had a demon in him.
Yeah.
And he got cool, bro.
No, there is.
Y'all stronger together.
It's incorporated. No, it is. No, that's the symbolism of incorporating.
They're not going nowhere.
Right. Exactly that. Exactly.
Pope Francis ain't about to come save.
Right. No. Shout out Pope Francis. No, but it's really people have this idea of like I need to eliminate the bad thing with me when the only thing, not the smart thing, not the best thing, the only thing you can do is make peace with your demons. Like, me and alcohol are a perfect example because that's generational. My dad, he won't admit it, but my dad's an alcoholic, and I know there's substance abuse all the way down the line on both sides. You know what I mean? So, like, I know I got a DUI that cascaded me into all of this shit. It was very painful. I had to redo my entire life and all, whatever. And now I don't even really need to drink, but I know, and I still had the urge. I had the urge when my girlfriend's mom was watching my kids, and I had a little bit of time. I was like, I could drink. Like the first fucking thing that hit my head when I was like, I have free time, I could go get drunk. First fucking thing. I haven't had a drink in like a year. You know what I mean? So it's that thing where I understand that my alcoholism, just because I haven't fucked up in a while, doesn't mean it's gone. You know what I mean? It's still there. You still have to keep that little guy in check. he's still biting on my neck. I'm like, no. So I got this tattoo. Like, I don't drink tattooed on my wrist just to remind me that, So it's those things where it's like, if you have a temper, don't think just because you haven't blown up in 10 years that shit's not coming right back. It's about setting your environment in your world. But anyway, it's knowing who you are first, right? Knowing who you are, and then as you walk along this journey, understanding that shit's gonna fuck up, but learning the right things that allow you to move forward in that clear vision, right? I think is the good delusion aspect, where it's like, I can be anyone I want to be. And the tangible path to that is the journey. And I know that's cliche as fuck, but it's like, things are gonna work out, but they're not gonna work out even remotely how you think it.
Yeah.
As long as you lean into that, as long as you understand that you're gonna take some fucking punches to every part of your body, and you're gonna have to face harsh realities about who you are. Because I think a lot of people just run from themselves and attach to who and someone they want to be. That's why everyone's like, I want to be Drake. It's like, you don't want to be Drake, you just are afraid of yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's a person here that you would enjoy being more than Drake, and that's you, but there's so many bad things about you don't even want to deal with that, and you look at someone like Drake who has it all. You know what I mean? But if you had Drake's problems, you wouldn't want to fucking be Drake.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
100%.
Guaranteed.
100%.
And I love how this is so beautifully transitioning. But like, last thing was on good delusion. Deciding on something that seems impossible. So like, I feel like the best delusion is when you have embarked on something that a lot of people tell you is impossible, and it seems impossible, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to make that your reality. It sounds like that is what good delusion is, and that's what ambition looks like in real time. Actually acting it out. That's the action, I think, of ambition. But before we even can get, and I feel like before we can call ourselves ambitious, we have to set ambitious goals. Moving into like some of that goal setting aspect, because whenever I start working with a coaching client, or start working with, even just start talking with a friend who's like, hey man, give me some of that sauce or whatever, the first thing is like setting goals. Because a lot of people, like, for example, someone might say, my goal is to make $3,500 a month. Like, it's okay to have some short-term goals, but I always want to talk about big picture first, and then we can set the roadmap, and then we can see, okay, by January, let's say you want to make actually like 20,000 is like the goal. All right, so by this time we should be at one of those short-term goals. But I never want to start with a short-term goal. But the first thing I start, is I want to figure out if someone's actually ambitious. And that's usually in that first call, right? Because what happens is they tell me where they want to be, and I'm like, okay. And if I have been there, if I know how to get there, if I work with people who have been there, I will lay out. It takes like an hour or two to create a customized roadmap of how to get there. And once I start to see like resistance to like that plan, because it's like, I feel like personally you should be excited about the journey. You should be excited about,
at least the idea.
Excited about knowing what to do. Because my thing is, before this call, you told me I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay. Well,
and now you know what to do.
If you know what to do, what you do, like, yeah, but is there a way I can? No. I'm like,
how about you do it?
Exactly. And it's like, I've been more so pushing done with you coaching now than done for you, because I got done for you stuff, and it was like, okay, once things broke, I didn't know what to do because it was somebody else did it for me. So now I'm so big on doing it yourself. But when done for you, it's gonna be more expensive. So it's like, if you're gonna learn how to run ads, just learn by actually getting in the field and fucking up, instead of going and paying someone else $1,500 and they fuck up and now you're mad. Like, do it yourself. But I always see how that to me, ambitious is being willing to do what it takes to get to where you want to go, not just. Because I find out on that call, you just want to look good, you don't really, this ain't really that important. You're like, okay, maybe I can just invite you to this, or I can send you a free training, but that's not the time. Like, the time I feel like I'm working with somebody, or I want to work with you, is that it's like, okay, I'm just like, I got so much work in it, I got so much drive, but I don't know what to do with it. Because that was me, when I got coaching, when I started working for Jason Capital. Like, I just was so ambitious, but like, I didn't have no know-how. So they taught me sales, they taught me marketing, they taught me business, operations, like, and I know now, like, I didn't go to college. I'm like, those 5 years I spent working for all these dudes, that was my college. Like, I'm looking like, damn, I didn't learn. I used to be like, in Renaissance, I barely graduated.
That is worth like 20 years of college. What you went through that 5 years, that's worth 20 years of college.
I saw some of those companies crash out. Like, I saw Jason crashed out for a second because he was too nice. Like, he was giving too many people base pays, and he found that I saw real time, people that are commission only work hard. Like, online, people try to like talk shit about my job will give me a base. If you're talking like that, like,
you don't want to work hard.
You don't want, because
you want consistent. You can't be an entrepreneur and at the same time want a consistent check.
Yeah.
Those things do not exist together until you put a decade in of bullshit or war.
That's the thing, bro. I feel like social media tricked everybody into thinking that everything's easy, and I feel like that's where like you get calls like that, where like, no shit, that's a good idea. Like, this is an idea to print money. Like, and then they have zero interest in doing what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like social media. I feel like and I feel like everybody's a victim of it, really. But it's the speed at which like a career option is like trendy now. Like everybody's trading this, and everybody's getting this license, and not everybody's doing this. You know what I mean? And I think it's like goes back to the essence of the conversation about ambition. Is like what are the reasons behind your ambition? Because 9 times out of 10, the people that are looking for like a quick entrepreneurship journey, social media is the inspiration and the audience for what they're doing. And then at that point, I feel like you kind of lose track, you know?
Yeah. Easy to lose yourself when you got those. There's so many idols and so many different things. That's why I mean, church been helping so much, because it's like learning not to idolize these people. You know, and I mean, it's good to choose the right idol, because it's like, you know, one of my only idols is LeBron James, and it's like, from our knowledge, he just had a pretty clean resume as far as like just extracurriculars.
It's
like,
ridiculous, bro.
Dude just is the
How hasn't slipped up at all?
every aspect of his life. He's like a perfect example. People talk about
He must be a good person.
people. The only thing that people talk about is the fact that he signed with Nike, and that the labor laws with the Chinese.
That's not even.
I'm like,
That's not his fault.
I'm like, everybody who comments that got shit in their closet from China.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as socialist as I am, bro, it's not on LeBron. Like, it's on, to an extent, it's on him. But, like, you know, you can't put it on.
That's
like
not
a spotless record. He's been on national TV since he was 15 years old.
Dude, and
He ain't never
making
even been too tipsy in public, bro.
I never even seen him with a blunt. You know, he may have a cigar, but it's like, if you do anything else you don't know about, and I think he does a really good job. But I said that to say, like, you know, with someone like LeBron, you know, I never really had problems with like my idol. You know, I feel like that's idol, and I don't want him to go above like things that are important. But like when you have a idol like a Cristiano, when you have an idol like, you know, let me not just point people out, but like when you have an idol like some of these people in the media,
bad role model.
Bad role models, like it can fuck you up, because it's
For
like
sure.
until you find who you are, you're following your role model.
Yeah.
No, you emulate that. It goes from as kids, and I'll tell you, like, it's your kid. You are, as a parent to your kids, you are the world. You are, as a father, you are all the masculine energy in the world, and as a mother, you are all the feminine energy in the world, and both those things combine into a household with your kids, and they become you. They go out into the world, right? And then everyone goes through this where they're like, fuck my parents, I gotta reform my identity. That's what your core group of friends is probably where you all met each other, kind of. And then form your identities around each other, and then once you go into college, you do that again, and it's like, along the way, if you're absorbing bad role models because you're naive in this world, right? Like you're absorbing people who do bad shit for, you know, for money or clout or whatever, and they are quote unquote successful, then you emulate that bad shit, right? And it's like, that's why people damn near don't even pick their role models.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think you need to spend time thinking about who you idolize.
That was just such a good point, bro. Because like nobody should be like. I think you shouldn't idolize anybody you don't know in real life. You feel me? Because like you can idolize things about a person. Like LeBron, for example. Like I idolize the way that he is able to literally be on point in every aspect of his career, personal life, and the public eye. It's inspiring to see, for real. You feel me? Like, ain't nobody even been able to catch him lacking. He's had haters of all sorts, and like, he ain't never, you know. So like, that's something to idolize. But I think people like idolize people they don't know as a slippery slope. Because you don't know. Like, it's not as when you start to like model the way that you behave in real life off of some shit you see on the screen.
Right.
Like, it gets a lot deeper than like just fucking with that person. Because like now you start to feel like you relate to that person in this way. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna sign yourself up for a bunch of shit you don't want to sign yourself up for, bro.
100%. I like what you said about taking pieces of people. Like, you know, so I have a lot of role models too. Like, one of my role models is like Mike Tyson. And what I like about Mike Tyson is that he's like the warrior king now. He went from like this violent, like the most bullshit a person could go through. You know, and my daughter's 4 or 5. He lost like a 5-year-old daughter. It's crazy. People don't really, you know what I mean? He was a world boxing champion doing blow before fights. And now he's like this I mean, he's on shrooms and shit all the time or whatever, but he's deep into his sage bag. Right? And it's like, so I can watch that as a 30-year-old man with a family and ambitious myself and see his entire timeline and see the pain he went through, how he managed his pain. He's very explicit with that. He took all of his pain and he put it into boxing. He was obviously naturally, physically, like, top. He's a freak in that way, right? That he was just going to be successful in that way. And then, so that all mixed together, and then he emotionally crashed out. Even though he had all the money and all that shit, he still wasn't happy. He still had to deal with shit. And now he's in this other place now he's like, that's why his podcast, or podcasts in general, like this conversation we're having right now, it's so important. All of these things. So it's like the thing I like about Mike Tyson, like, I don't want to be Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? But I respect the dealing with more pain than I will ever have to endure as a person. Like, and then coming out of it and being on the other side and him explaining that it's all going to be okay. And if it was okay for Mike Tyson, it'll be okay for me. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You take that piece, and then people like Jocko Willink, who's like, discipline is freedom type shit. You can take that and incorporate it, but I'm not going into the fucking seals. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to take the whole fucking shit. Gary Vee with his mind, but I don't have to be like Gary Vee is an interesting one for me personally, because it's like, I will never ever have as much money as him, but I don't want to, because that motherfucker works like, how many hours are there in a week? He has double that. He works double the hours in a week somehow. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, but I can take his marketing gems and his love of the game, and I can incorporate that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, you take all these pieces, and if you take the right pieces from the right people, and you incorporate them into the root of who you are as a person, then you start to kind of form who you are. And obviously these things can fall off and change, and you grow different ways, but again, as long as you have a good vision moving forward, these things are, your ideology, generally speaking, is there to serve you through life. It's to help you move. It's to help you move through basically the catastrophes of life and be able to handle the shitstorm that comes. Yeah. That's why you have these things, these ideologies, and I think a lot of people with bad ideologies or wrong ideologies are either stuck in an environment where those bad ideologies are a benefit, and have worked for them. Like the streets is a good example of that, where being vicious and violent when you sell dope is good because it allows you to exist within this area and be successful. But once you step outside of that area, you're fucked. You know what I mean? But emotionally, you can't exist in a way. That's like a jail thing too. It's like, if you spend 20 years in jail, you build up all these things that don't work in the real world. You know what I mean? And that's hard to break. Same thing with people in the military. You develop these things to exist, an ideology to exist, skill set to exist in the military come out, and all of this shit comes back. You know what I mean? So it's like the ideology, your role model, your vision, your goals, they have to serve the idea of who you are supposed to be, I suppose, right? Yeah. And then some things have to get dumped off, some things have to stay, some things have to be enhanced. But exactly what you said, that was like probably the best shit that's been said, is that if you take one person and just, boop, you're me now. Not only is that, you're doing like a caricature of that person, because you don't know them. Huh? Yeah, you're a caricature. Yeah, and then you lose yourself, and then you can't. You're not equipped to handle that.
Once you lose,
it's done. Because then someone can come in and just reform it any type of way you want. You know what I mean? There is an overwhelming amount of people who have lost themselves to the game, I guess, to life, to whatever. You know what I mean? This might be the deepest fucking shit we have.
I tell you, every episode will be better than the last. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I do want to, when it comes back to goal setting, I want to kind of open that up for you guys to kind of hear about some of the goals that you've set along the way. But just kind of in that thought, like as far as like working with people, like when it comes to setting goals, the moment I hear someone making excuses for not checking out, when I'm sitting down with someone, I'm talking about not just the things like marketing and stuff, because that's obviously the shit we're gonna have to talk about, but I'm talking about some habits, like especially when I'm working with ADHDers, like these are habits we're gonna have to implement, because it's like people. That's why I love once we get deeper into talking about ADHD, because a lot of people hate hearing about it because usually people use it as an excuse. Yeah. But like when I'm talking to someone, it's like, okay, the only way to, because you have this, you can't get rid of it, and I don't want you on Adderall, so we have to put habits in you. Because like a lot of ADHDers, we have some habits we do that, since we did it so much, it becomes natural. But some ADHDers have habits that are harder for us. So you can make a habit. It's just you have to actually make the habit. It's not gonna come natural. And just I get to talking and it's like, well, I don't know, and it's like, how can you be saying that? Like you will tell your future, no, I can't work. But not because I don't want to, but because I can't teach that, you know. And I think when it comes to coaching and things like that, that's why so many coaches end up having, you know, they get shut down, they get all the chargebacks because they're taking on the wrong people. Like especially if coaching isn't like a quick fix. Coaching is to give you a lifelong. It's so you don't have to make the mistakes I made. You know, basically.
Yeah, I mean the thing about coaching is there's a reason the coach is on the side of the game and they're not shooting the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I can, as a coach, like I can do anything except make you want it. I can do anything except make you do it. I can tell you the path, you know, and that's, you know, and yeah, for sure.
And another thing, like before I even get into that with you guys, another thing is just when I'm talking to someone, their goals have to be ambitious enough. It's like, it's not my opinion. It's just based on like what you actually want. You know, I won't even hire someone if I know their goals aren't possible with us. You know, I won't. You know, because people say no, I can do it. I'm like, you're not gonna take this, like, this ain't serious. Like, I want you to be working on the big picture at all times.
You're gonna You're gonna fuck our shit up, and you're gonna be miserable while you fuck our shit up.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know.
100%.
And the biggest mistake people especially with videographers make in the city, unless it's something like, you know, your boys doing it, is their intentional behind it, you know, doing $50 videos. Yeah. But a lot of people aren't setting their pricing based on their income goals, they're setting their pricing based on what they think people pay. Right. So it puts you in a, you know, your income and your life is depending on everyone else. Unless you, first step, if you want to make 10K a month and you're shooting videos, you know, for $100, it's like, cool, you have to do like 100 videos a month, 1,000 videos a month. So it's like, it's either, I did the math, but I don't know.
Too many.
No, it's going to be way more than humanly possible.
I'm not a math guy, guys.
You know, so it's like, exactly. So it's like either, you know, that doesn't mean you can't do that, but it's understanding that while you're doing that, that's not sustainable for what you want. So it's like, if you want to make 10K, shoot 1K videos. And it's like, I can't do that. All right, find a way to do it, because people do. So it's just that simple with me when I work with people, because they feel like they can't charge this. Make it so you can. Provide more value. Go to school, you know, get a better camera. Bring snacks, you know.
Find a different market.
Find a different market, because we talked about that. That's, I'll get into that when I coach them, but like that's the biggest thing. You know, if you are targeting people who can't afford it, then you gotta change it. It's not, you know, hard to them. Stop posting on your Twitter, posting on Facebook. You guys don't support me, you guys hate me. It's like, they just can't fucking afford you. Like, don't be bad, type shit. But for you guys, what are some, like, as you guys are growing, like, what are some goals that, you know, some goals that you set that like play a big part, you know, you guys getting there? Because obviously, you know, some goals that we set can like play, you know, can help us a lot.
So, goals, long term, short term?
Long term, your big picture goals. That
like long?
Yeah.
Long term. Yeah.
I'm
gonna take over the world.
Take over the world. And what is that with?
Oh man, I don't even know, but I already know I'm gonna take over the world.
No, that's the good delusion, though. Yeah.
No, for real though, it's gonna happen.
I believe you.
I just feel it.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
But I'm gonna do it with my family. Maybe that's a delusion of just believing that everything will be perfect when that happens, but I hope to have my family and all the love that I have today with me at that point. But then again, you know, if I don't, it kind of makes you question, is any of it worth it?
Hey, for real though.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like, what is success without sharing it with people?
Actually, maybe, I don't know. I gotta think about that tonight when I'm part of sleep. But I want to give some advice to anyone who's watching too about just the future in the market. I actually had a conversation with the chief marketing officer at Global of Jeep, and she was telling me we had a conversation face to face. She was telling me about the future of this market, especially when it comes to technology being introduced to this market, specifically AI. I really want to go into this for a second.
Yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur and you are in this space of media, entertainment, or anything that's going to be impacted by the digital world, which is almost every field, the biggest thing you can do right now is learn how to utilize this technology to your advantage, because there is a whole wave of jobs, a whole wave of needs that are yet to be seen, and it's literally the pioneers are carving out the future for it right now. And the barrier to entry to get into this technology, specifically AI, is so low we have such an opportunity as a community and people to really take the reins and create wealth from it, you know, and it's like that is going to be the future of the world. And specifically what she was telling me is that, you know, for a long time, hard skills, technical skills reigned supreme for a lot of these job fields. And with the introduction to this type of technology, the biggest thing for entrepreneurs is going to be soft skills, being able to communicate effectively, being able to build relationships, network, and also speak. You know what I'm saying? Communication, the biggest thing, because to speak with technology nowadays is just to speak like a human being. You know what I'm saying? And people are starting to figure this out. Like, we're documenting every single process that we got. Just using ChatGPT on a regular basis is a groundbreaking thing nowadays. Like, and people don't even fully realize it to the fullest extent. It's being like learned right now, but like the average person can be an expert at it right now. You know, and be ahead of the market just by using it on a daily basis. So that's, you know.
What do you think? So some AI shit. What should people start with? ChatGPT.
I use ChatGPT every single day.
It's even better. Like it's going.
You know, yeah, 100%, and like use it beyond tasks. I use it more in a practical sense, a philosophical sense, and I document it heavily. You know, and just because this is a chance to have access to so much data. You know, I'm able to speak to it about. I had to break down like the pretty much like the dichotomy of like biblical things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's like your
You can talk.
our conversation partner, like your theological conversation.
It's like Jarvis, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm thinking about. I want to peel back the layers. Like what is the human thought process when it was creating these stories? You know what I'm saying? Like what are key lessons that you can take away that can be incorporated beyond into every section of the world? How does this relate to? I want you to scan every single culture. You know, go over every single culture. What are the similarities? What are the differences? Where things of that nature are really going to be like, we're going to be able to excel as humans, you know, and then it's going to be groundbreaking. I don't even know how to really.
No, that makes sense though with what you said, with what she said, where it's not, you can't beat it at the hard skills. So you have to learn how to talk to it to get the right answers.
Exactly.
Bingo. That's
and it's about having the app, because everybody's like, you know, Snapchat's had it for so long, and I have this, I have that, but you don't know how to use it. It's not about having chat. We all have access to it, but like, just to piggyback on what you said, anyone can become an expert with this very quick. I started using it in February, and like now, like it's like I can't. Whenever it's like, cause sometimes it's not working. Whenever that happens, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm like not dependent on it now, but it's just such a help. Especially for a solopreneur doing shit by yourself. It does so much.
Do a lot of legwork, bro.
I need to use it. I need to use it for writing songs and like just using that, because like in music, bro, like there's a lot of people who are fighting it, and there was a thing today. My girlfriend showed me about Bad Bunny getting mad that someone took a song with his voice and put it up, and it went super dumbass. And he's like, miss me with all that shit. Bad Bunny's gonna be fucked if he doesn't embrace it, because look, it's what's gonna happen. It's just what's gonna happen. So it's like you have to, exactly what you said. You either learn it, and it's so new that people still think it's a fad. The way I look at it specifically with ChatGPT, it's like, so the internet is the collection of all the human consciousness, and ChatGPT is being able to talk to it like a person
in a millisecond.
Right, and so it's like that. That is obviously the next evolution. Instead of going into Google and being like blah blah blah, you could just talk to all of the everything and get and theorize with it. Right.
Theorize with it. That is the other 80% of the brain that we cannot access. That we have like dynamic, direct access to. We can speak to it.
Yeah.
We can like really go over what your theories. Anything you're thinking, the more you are able to be transparent with it, you're already this much like farther ahead than like many companies out there.
I actually wanted to use it to help me write a book, just because I don't have the discipline to write a book. So I was like, but anyway, no. But I could with Chat.
One thing you can do that I've done with it, so this is my favorite part, is like, cause a lot of times before I ever start, I say, are you familiar with this? And it tells me how familiar it is with that thing. And if it's not enough to my liking, I give it some information, and then says, then it's good. But like one thing I did was I gave it an example of ad copy. So I went to a bunch of people who run ads in my niche and all the different niches that we're getting into. I went to all their ad copy. I put in like 10 examples of their ads. I said, hey, first I asked it, what is it? What is the ad copy? And it went kind of into detail. And then I said, okay, use this. I put that in there, and I said, use this as a template to create, this many ads. And it can do that. So you can give it examples if it doesn't have it, and tell it to create something based on an example. So, for example, if you say, hey, use this Drake song as a template, as bad as this sounds, you can take it in there, and it will make a difference.
No, it's not bad. It's not.
It's
bad.
crazy. You just have to be resourceful. I think being resourceful that's my best quality.
People are afraid it's going to replace them, but it won't replace you if you use it as a resource and you use it to enhance what you're doing, because it's like you said, it's going down anyway. But
I had an interesting conversation with it recently. I took the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and I wanted it to make a hypothetical, like America, where things are running, like, be realistic as possible, but things are running more efficiently, people have like a higher quality of life, and then I started breaking down, like, what are the flaws in the system, just from a computer standpoint, and I want you to take data points from, like, every government that has existed.
Wow, you're a goddamn genius.
Yeah, you're using it even.
No, that's no.
Listen,
not to cut you off, I want you to keep going, but you definitely should, if you're not, do a communicate with AI type of class for people, because that's some shit.
That's what we're.
That's crazy.
You're gonna have to.
I'm still in this is my newest discussion. I gotta get deeper into it. But the thing is, like, it's crazy because we all have access to this. It's like,
it's on Snapchat.
The more we document it, like, and come together as a community, the thing is, it's with the people right now. The people learn how to use it. The companies don't even understand it. It does not even, like, impact or, their money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the people who control the markets, some, but not all. Like, and while it's not controlled, it's the perfect time to be asked. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with crypto when it came out. There's the crypto millionaires.
100%.
There's definitely going to be the AI millionaires in the next 1 year, 2 years.
And they can change the world.
Yeah, because this is always what happens, right? It's like new shit comes off, corporations get late to the party, right? Generally speaking. Mm-hmm. So then all the people, exactly what you said, the people who are learning it, now you have a 7-figure salary just to be a consultation for fucking, Ford for AI shit, because they fucked up and now their competitors are doing it. And then on top of that, it's like you figure out, like, exactly what you said with your workflow, right? You're gonna fuck everyone up who just has decided, like, fuck AI, it's not like me, like, as an artist, right, with workflow, it's like if I can go into AI and I could be like, make this song about this in the style of this if he was on this beat, and it, then I could theoretically make 10 songs and then record them, re-edit little shit for my own taste, and then just go, right? And now I'm killing every artist who thinks they're sweet, you know what I mean? Because this is what everyone's going to be doing in 5 years anyway.
But you still create the song. You use the resource. Like, people try to act. Unless you just take it and just let it do it for you. But, like, if you're gonna, because usually what I use it for is a template for anything.
But even beyond that, if you do let it do, listen. If you tell someone I can write you a whatever, and then they pay you $10,000, and you say, hey, Chat, write me this, and it does it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you are smart because you're using the resource that other people aren't using.
Exactly.
Flat out.
Yeah.
Flat the fuck out.
100%.
You gotta play the game. I'm so big on this is a point. I know now. I'm just excited, but it's like no, but it's there are always the people who try to fight to keep shit the same, but when something like this happens, you cannot beat it. You have to join it.
Yeah.
Not might as well. You have to
take it,
and you might as well do it now.
Yeah, take it for the people, man.
Yeah,
take it
for
real.
Because there is going to be a point where corporations do get it, do understand it, and then they find a way to control it, and then we're all cooked.
Put a bunch of new laws in it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you
front run.
100%.
Yep.
100 people became billionaires, and then they're like, so we're going to institute crypto gains tags and everything.
Yeah.
So, like,
party's over.
Motherfuckers going to be making hella bread, and then they're going to be like, so Warner said, and you can't do this with AI music, and you can't do this.
Yeah, party with AI until its parents come up.
And speaking of AI, so that's the other thing we've been working on, and that's another thing I want to update you on today. So, like, we've been working, like, obviously with trading is not new, trading forex. I think IML, like, when people mixed it with multi-level marketing and stuff like that, it messed up how people do trading. But, like, a lot of people just trade and make a lot of money. But like, we've been working on a bot. We've been working on our bot, and it's been being tested for like this whole year, and it's been doing amazing. But obviously, we want to make it do the best it can. But it's like AI trading, like that's when you talk about printing money, and that's something else we're going to be announcing in our community once that's ready to go. But it's like obviously we want to get everything.
Yeah, we don't want to fuck you over.
That's our T's, but trading on my account, trading on my client's account has been going great. So it's like now that's another thing. So it's like AI, like you can like that's people need to because you're using it like philosophically on another level. I'm just using it to make bread, but you try to change the world. That's what. So I see what you mean when you say you're gonna take over the world because that's crazy. You know, using it to that certain effect.
I want to have a really deep philosophical conversation with you, like even off camera, because I tend to go there all the way. That's insane.
I like you love it, like you.
Of course, you just gave me so. Listen, bro, like I'm gonna get that, and it's just gonna be me and my best friend ChatGPT, like solving the problems of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely
man, for real. Like, I talk to it like. I've learned to like think of it as a person. Like I even be like, man, I don't even know what to say to what you just gave me. They're like, well, why don't you think about this? And, you know, and then you can.
He's not having it.
It really tells you like, well, I can help you out here, and then ChatGPT, you know, get the paid version is what is so worth it. How much is it? You can it's like $10 a month or $15. Like
shit, bro. Yeah.
Get it, and then you can teach it about you. Now, some people are scared of this, and you know, skepticism or however you feel about your data, you know. Leave it, you know, that's personally up to you. But me personally, like, I give it every single day. I want it to know me, understand my thought process, sis, because it helps me understand my thought processes better myself.
Yeah.
You know, because I can break it down to like simple terms. And humans aren't simple. You know, we're very complex. So to be able to put it in plain terms or to be able to get you thinking in the right direction,
right,
is like it's valuable.
For sure,
you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tool. I feel like it's not going nowhere. It's like
no.
Haven't bought the paper and getting out because it's gonna be more expensive. It's gonna have to get raised because once people realize what you can do with it, because I feel like the world, I feel like even the creators probably. I mean, obviously they know, but like I don't feel like people really know like how useful this is.
I think it's gonna go the other way. I think it's just gonna get incorporated into the shit we already have. It's
well, that's what
free for a company advantage. And that's what they're doing now. Like,
because
it's like if Google, I mean, Google's just gonna buy Chat. Who owns ChatGPT? Is it still?
OpenAI.
OpenAI.
It's like open source. So Google has their own.
Right.
Yeah, everybody got their own like.
Yeah. So you know.
They've all taken from OpenAI source. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, everybody said, and they all say we're doing powered by a third party. I'm like, it's open.
Yeah, they're all just gonna do their own spin on AI. And then, well, it'll become one of those things where now it's like now. Where it's like now with like you have your algorithms, it's gonna just super amplify that, and then for content creators, it's gonna be like it's gonna damn near do the work for you. Like it really is. And then you know I kind of go the other way because I think people are scared of it. I think that it will allow the best parts of everyone to shine.
Yes.
Assuming you utilize it correctly.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Because it could just come in and clean, sweet, added on shit where it's like. I'm gonna make this post and it's gonna correct X, Y. I mean, it could damn near correct like errors in your speech and all type. You know,
it's so helpful for especially me with any type of neurodivergent things I suffer with once I figure out what all I really got. But like this for the ADHD component, because I usually talk backward when I text people. The point usually comes first. But even when I talk, I go, "Hey y'all, I'm starting with like
the end,
and I never. And it's like it helps me like because even like as simple as like. Stripe wanted me to make a description for one of my courses. I'm like, I had all these, I know what my course is, but like, it's characters and everything. I put in ChatGPT, I say, my character limit is this is what I need them to know. I also want you to, like, are you familiar with their terms of use and all this? Make it so it goes with that. Make it so that I won't get shut down because Stripe is so hard to navigate. Boom, boom, like that shit helps me articulate thoughts.
You're a genius for that.
And because I'm bad at like, I be having so much shit, boom, and I'm like, This is my whole. I even made it help me like make descriptions for my course or make posts because I know what I want to say. But
exactly, it formulates it.
Yes, it puts it in order. You know, it helped me make my first podcast like outline template, and ever since I just kind of use their template.
Yeah.
These are the things you need to talk about. And people ask when we were starting a podcast, how do you guys do that? I don't know. I'm about to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Shit, as I'm going. But I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, man, because AI is not going nowhere. I use it so much. I do want to wrap up, and I want to get like. For like all of you guys, 2 points on ambition and 2 points on goal setting, and then we're gonna add 2 points for AI since we didn't that's our third topic that we didn't create for the day, which is more important almost than the first two. But for you, man, like just a few things on like ambition, goal setting, and then like wrapping up with AI.
Ambition, goal setting, and wrapping up with AI. In terms of ambition, I'll tell you guys, my mom always told me, just follow your heart. It'll never lie to you. Really do that. When it comes to setting goals, do what's best for you and the people that you love or the things that you love, but always, always, always keep balance. Because things without balance, like I said, you teach it tired anyway. You never want to break your balance. You always want to do things. If you love the what's the good and bad delusions, right?
Yeah.
If you love something, it's good to devote your heart into it. But there's probably other things in life that deserve just as much as attention. So having a structure helps you be able to devote time in a way that you can feel satisfied at the end of the day. And beyond that, I don't know, man. Just love people as much as you can. Go into the world with an open heart. Sadly, not everyone's able to do that. There's a lot of sad stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of things that we cannot change right now. Like we were saying in the beginning of this podcast, just do what you can do and be true to you. You know what I'm saying? That like the smallest effect can go a long way. It goes beyond even our lifespan. You never even know. So just continue to be a good person. And just do the best you can. That's all anybody can ask for.
Beautiful. Yeah.
For you, man, same deal. Ambition, goal setting, AI, if you want to.
I would say, yeah, ambitions, I think, kind of how we talked earlier about it being exclusive of any need for your life. Like what you're ambitious about should be something that speaks to you, like you as a person, your personality, the things you love to do, have nothing to do with putting food on the table. That should be a byproduct, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then goal setting, I would say, honestly, in my opinion, you can never go wrong. Big picture goals, in my opinion, should always just be the emotions you want to feel at that point in time. You have no idea where the fuck you're going to be. I just want to be happy at, this point in my life, bro. You feel me? Am I really going to be mad when I'm 50 if I'm not doing what I said I want to do when I'm 25? If I'm happy as hell chilling at 50, I'm probably going to not do it. You feel me? So I think the achievable goal is chasing after feelings and situations in your life long term. And then short term is just focus on improving yourself, because then that helps you achieve every other goal. If you want to make more money, don't even make a money goal, make getting better at X, Y, and Z goal, because that's gonna make you more money, and you're focused on improving yourself as opposed to chasing a number. You feel me? Yeah, man, shit.
That's
right.
That's Barco's you see yours I saw this post about would you rather have 50 million Spider-Man powers, and it was such a debate. I'm like, no,
50 million or Spider-Man powers?
Yeah,
Spider-Man powers.
Spider-Man powers for sure. I mean, obviously because you could sign an NBA contract worth $200 million once they see your abilities. But that reminded me, what you were saying, just choosing that feeling, or over just the money. Cause if I'm Spider-Man, I don't need bread. I don't need
money. Who's gonna come collect?
Where's those? Bro, watch out.
You need a whip or something?
Yeah,
just swing.
I don't need it. It takes away the need, because I'm if everybody, and I think another thing when you ask, if you were rich, what would you do? Same thing. If you had superpowers, what would you do?
Yeah,
really figure out, what's your passion, because that's how it's supposed to be. But you can get your.
Was it ambition, goal setting, and AI? Yeah, I mean, y'all were so eloquent.
And nice and short and succinct. I would love to. I need to watch more of y'all, because I'm sure y'all episodes are shorter than mine. Y'all get right to the point. More.
Yeah, I have be ambitious about the right things, and then set your goals. Set your goals for something that's going to serve you and the people around you in a positive way. And that's kind of just wrapping up, I guess, a combination of what you guys said. Because honestly, between the two of you, I can't even say it any better myself. AI, I'm a big proponent of front running the technology, not being afraid of the future, and embracing it. Not even because it's here regardless of what you want, because it's a new, interesting dynamic, and it's a tool. And the people who are scared of the change are the ones that are always fucked in the end. It's like that teach truckers to code shit. You know what I mean? It's the world's changing, so you have to keep up with the change, or you're gonna get flatlined. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's how it is. So just take emotions out of it. Just see what the advantage is, and learn the thing. Play the game based on the rules, not how you wish the game was set up.
Yeah, just to kind of wrap up from that, man, like, you know, in years from now, probably going to the gym might be weird. They might find a way to, like, okay, you look like this, like, without surgery, like, boom, like, you know, and it's like, when people, like, resist that stuff, like, or I feel like everyone's grandparents just never used the GPS. They said, fuck it, I don't want to learn how to use it. But my grandpa, like, before he passed, like, I would try to get him to come to one of my housewarmers, and like he just ended up couldn't even show up because he's like, no, because I couldn't. He wanted me to come over, like write it out for him like they used to. I'm like, he's like, I see that thing, but I don't want to. I'm like, why? You know, because it's like I think sometimes people hate that they have to learn this new thing. But like, shit been good, now I got to learn something. It's like, if you resist that shit, now you're gonna be working. Now, because
twice as hard.
We're only not efficient once we realize there's something else. So it's like once there's something else, you're efficient, not efficient anymore. You know, now you gotta adapt, or now you're choosing to be not efficient, that type of thing. But I think this has been, I think every episode is better than the last, especially once we have guests who have so much value to add. So I definitely appreciate you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you guys, man. You know, it's the family. This is what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and gladly. Appreciate y'all hitting us up.
Yeah, I'm so glad we made it work. You know, I'm so last minute with stuff, so I'm glad y'all was able to make it happen. This has been, I think I still know what episode numbers are. We shouldn't be losing any. So by the order of everything, it should be episode 15. So
is that?
Yeah, this is, bro. Once you see my hard drive, it looks crazy, bro. I mean, obviously me and her have been doing our episodes.
I've definitely said something every day. 100%.
Oh my god.
By 15.
By this point,
Sure.
okay.
I can't wait for 3 more years of this. Cooking me.
Man, no, I feel that with a lot of them, man. But I appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And then, yeah, like, we good.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
That was